How much money do you make?
If you average it out, around 100K a month. So, yeah.
What type of business do you want to start in the future? What do you do with the money that you make? Tell us more about your business.
I'm an entrepreneur. I have a fashion tech startup called Truffa. We currently have over 40,000 users. So,
what do you invest in? What's the best part about your job? How much is your rent?
How much is rent?
How much is tuition here?
All in, it's like 96,000 a year.
I chose this major as, like a major so I could pursue my work full time.
What do you currently do?
Currently, I work as a travel filmmaker and photographer. I shoot for brands worldwide.
Are you a millionaire? Hey guys, so today we're here at USC asking college students how they make money. This is one of the most expensive colleges in the US at about $90,000 a year. I'm just curious, how do people afford that? And what jobs and side hustles do students here have? So we'll ask questions like, how do you make money? How much do you actually make? What are your expenses here? Yeah, juicy questions like that. Let's go. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
I'm Anantika. I'm a freshman. I'm 20 years old, and I'm majoring in IYA, so art technology and the business of innovation.
What do you hope to do with your major in the future?
So I'm an entrepreneur. I have a fashion tech startup called Truffa, so that's where I see myself working on for the next few years. We'll see where that leads, but my major really prepares you for entrepreneurship and for creating things, so wherever that journey takes me.
Tell us more about your business.
Sure. So Truffa is the social media mall. It's a social marketplace for shopping advice. Think if Reddit was for buying stuff. So you could say, hey, I'm looking for this dress. Where can people find it? Or, I'm moving into a new dorm and I need decor or I need a couch. And you post a request and other people help you find it. And in general, we're just really building like an online mall experience where people come together to buy stuff and find their perfect product. It's on the App Store and Google Play Store if you want to download it. We currently have over 40,000 users, so it's pretty cool.
Can you share some of your other wins in the business to inspire the audience?
Within Truffa, one big thing, and this is they were saying like, this is how I make money too. To grow it, I built myself a brand online through Instagram and YouTube and TikTok. In today's age, people don't want to follow companies, they want to follow people, they want to follow ideas. So we really built it around that. And so I started creating content a year ago to promote my brand, but also allows me to, when I have new ideas, I can put them out to the world a lot faster. I think like less than a year of working on that, and within a few months, we were hitting tens of million views on every other video. So that was pretty cool. And now we've had, over 300 million views across my platforms.
How do you monetize?
Truffa's monetization model has a few ways. The biggest one we have right now is when you post a request on Truffa, you set a bounty. So I'm looking to buy a house. I could put a several $1,000 bounty, then other people help you find your products and they can win that money. So if you go on Truffa today, you can make money finding people products, people making hundreds of dollars finding just clothes for other people, but we take a transaction of that the same way Depop does, and then Instagram and TikTok pay me.
What advice would you give to other young entrepreneurs that want to build their business while attending school or even if they're out of school?
I'm a big believer that if you have something you want to do, you got to go do it. And for me, you have to understand like the environment you need to push yourself in there. For me, I know that if there's a door open behind me, there's a chance I run back, so I literally close the doors. I said I was 20, I'm a freshman. I took 2 gap years. I said I'm not going to be in school and I'm just going to figure out what I want to do. Once I found the footing of learning how to work on my own time, running a business, I was 17, I didn't know how to do anything. But once I found that footing, it was easier to now be in school and juggle it. That being said, I'm 4 weeks into my freshman year, so I'm figuring it out.
Why college? What do you hope to get out of this experience?
So I'm part of IYA, and if you see all my friends here, I came here for the community. I think you only create good ideas if you're around other people who have really cool ideas. You never want to be a one-trick pony your whole life, so you want to learn what other people are doing and learn from them. I'm still young, and I think there's so much I can create beyond what I'm just doing right now.
Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
I hope to be creating things around people I love and have the flexibility of my life to just be following opportunities that I think are cool.
And as a student, how do you balance work with your studies?
Honestly, it's a lot of work, so my classes don't start till noon or 2 p.m., so I'm working all morning, and then I'm in classes until pretty late, and then I do some more work at night. But the last few days, I've been meetings back to back from 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. I'm figuring it out.
How do you not get burnout?
We're 4 weeks in, we'll figure that out. But it's keeping a balance of people around you, and you have to love it. I love startup. It isn't work for me. I get more energy spending time on startup. Class is the thing that's more draining for me. But yeah, being back in school is a learning curve.
What software do you use to run your business?
I use Slack to communicate with my team. I have my calendar very organized and send people meeting invites.
Can you tell us about an experience where you had some type of failure and what you learned from it?
This one's always a hard question for me because it sounds silly, but I don't index that much on failure. I like to say that building a startup is kind of like being Sisyphus. You feel like you're rolling a big rock up the hill, and every once in a while it rolls back over you and smushes you. Actually, probably every single day. You're making small progress upwards, but it feels like failing 100% of the time. And so that doesn't feel like failure anymore at some point.
Thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and what is your major?
Sims, I'm 18 and I'm majoring in finance.
What do you hope to do with that major?
Really, I don't want to do anything finance. finance. I like startups and running businesses, so that's kind of my ideal world.
So what do you currently do to make money as a student?
I have been working at a startup in LA called Curate as the business development director for a year and a half now. So yeah, I joined in as a software engineer actually, and then hated it and kind of switched over to the business side. I didn't hate the company, I just didn't like coding every day. You know, it wasn't exactly my thing. So.
Okay. So you must be like one of the youngest people on the team.
By far, but the founders are pretty young as well. They were new grads out of Stanford, so I just hopped on with them and been working for them, yeah.
How'd you get that position?
My grandpa knew the grandpa of the founder, and so I went and interviewed. Technical interviews and everything to land it.
Would you mind sharing how much money you make at your job?
I make $21 an hour.
And how much do you work?
40 hours a week.
How do you attend school too?
It's been a lot. I've been doing it since high school, so all throughout my senior year of high school I was working and going to school, but honestly it's just time management, and we have a hybrid schedule. So like last year I worked on fully remote, but now I'm trying to go into the office more. So I get done with all my school, or even in class I'll be taking meetings, answering emails, responding on Slack. So it's pretty much a 24-hour grind.
Right now you're trying to prioritize school more or work?
Honestly, both. I've always decently been pretty good at school, so it's not like, don't want to say it hasn't been challenging, but you know, it's like kind of on the back burner. I've been more focused on trying to build this business and honestly like starting my own business too.
How many units are you taking right now?
I'm taking 19, so I'm actually taking an extra class.
What's your favorite thing to do at your job right now?
We work with restaurants, so I definitely love meeting restaurant owners, going to their different restaurants, trying out their food. I have a great relationship with other people on my team, so we'll go out and go to these restaurants and try and find deals, and all around California really, it's been awesome.
As the youngest person on the team, what do you learn from like the older people, and what can they learn from you?
On the software side, I'd say we have really brilliant people that honestly, like when I'm gonna eventually go ahead and try and start my own business, like I'm gonna look for people that are like them, like people similar to hire, you know, work with, because they've inspired me a lot with just how like really good people can get at a certain craft. And then on the business side, like both of the co-founders are just absolute geniuses, and they've taught me so much in terms of just managing people and managing, you know, their time as well, because they're incredibly busy, but they still have fun and they still are like growing this company to a whole new level.
Can you share one important thing that you've learned from the founders?
I've learned that it definitely takes more than one person to achieve a shared vision. So they started this very long time ago and they've come together, both of them. If it was just one of them, they definitely could not have done it. And I think, you know, I won't ever try and do something fully alone. I gotta always have support by at least one other person. Okay, I love it.
What type of business do you want to start in the future?
Currently, actually, you know, working some ideation, but I really enjoy, you know, fintech, trying to grow into that space and, you know, build something that helps other people and specifically maybe small businesses. So.
And what part does college play in your future plans?
Honestly, I just love California, and so I'm from Colorado, but you know, I didn't use it to come out to California, but I've always wanted to go to somewhere in California, so this is a great place to meet the people and meet, you know, who I potentially want to start a company with or want to, you know, hire, bring on, because everyone's going to be local around here. So that was a big part of it. I'm not sure if school is going to teach me all that much, but definitely like being in classes with like-minded people is a huge advantage.
Is there any chance that you'd ever drop out?
Probably not, and I don't know how much my parents would like that, but if I really had a banger rocket ship idea, you never know.
What were your high school stats to get into USC?
I was a valedictorian at a 4.65 weighted GPA, and I was the varsity swim team captain, and I also worked full time.
Yeah, where did you get that hustle mentality and smartness from?
Honestly, both my parents like are very hard workers, but I think the business side has come from my grandpas. Both of them I've learned a ton, but one has taught me, you know, very technical trade crafts, and the other has taught me how to deal with the people. So they've both really driven me to just work hard and, you know, achieve everything by hustling. So.
What's your favorite part about USC so far?
Well, not our dorms. We didn't have any AC when it was 110, so that was pretty miserable. That's my least favorite. I feel like where I came from wasn't very diverse, so here I'm meeting a huge diverse group of people that I just love connecting with. So.
Any advice you want to give to college students?
If you can find a way to work, even if like it's not something you truly care about, I think, because that's for me with software. I went into it initially thinking I was going to major in software, and then I fully like, you know, switched. So I think even if you're working and you don't like it, you're learning that you don't like it. So 100% try and find out what you don't like and find out what you love.
Thank you so much. Yeah. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
My name is Ethan Chang. I'm a PR marketing major, and I'm 20 years old.
What do you want to do with your major?
I kind of chose this major as, you know, like a major so I could pursue my, you know, my work full time.
So what do you currently do?
So currently I work as a travel filmmaker and photographer. I shoot for brands worldwide.
How did you get into that?
Honestly, I kind of like picked up a camera when I was in 7th, 8th grade, and then just kind of been doing it ever since.
So what type of content do you shoot?
It's mostly for my own like personal work. It's more travel, landscapes, and just travel content. But for brands, I kind of do like UGC, whatever they kind of need. I just kind of create like assets for them for their Instagram, Reels, TikTok, YouTube, yeah.
Could I ask, how much money do you make as as a student?
4 to 5K a month.
That's great.
It's okay. I mean, it's not that much, but I'm still kind of, scaling the business. So
Obviously, that's a lot for a college student, right? But like, what do you do with the money that you make?
I kind of like reinvest in myself. Like I pour back into like new camera gear, travel, and I also do extreme sports. So I kind of like put a lot of money towards that as well.
So what are your other expenses as a student?
I mean, a lot of it goes to food, housing, and then not gonna lie, a lot of it goes into like extreme sports.
What's the most expensive extreme sport outing that you've done?
I'm mainly a skydiver, so a lot of my money goes into like plane tickets, like my parachute, my like helmet, a lot of like stuff like that.
How many jumps have you done?
Around 140.
If I want to get into that, what should I do?
I recommend doing a tandem first, then seeing if you kind of like it. If you kind of do, start your AFF course, and then once you kind of get 25 jumps, you have your license.
What do you enjoy about that?
It feels freeing. So when you're at the drop zone, when you're just at the DZ, like thinking about the jump, you kind of don't think about anything else. It's kind of like a nice way to like, escape from like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do homework, I have to do work, I have to, worry about clients. It's kind of like a nice way to like disassociate from all that and take a break.
And then for your photography and like video and stuff, how did you find clients? How did you initially get started?
So at first, I used to just fire a bunch of cold pitches. Like I remember firing maybe like around 50 cold pitches a week and then just hoping one of them responds.
Like through email or what?
Just straight up LinkedIn, finding their email and just kind of like keep on firing it all out. But now it's kind of like I just check my inbox. Sometimes there's there, sometimes they're in my Instagram DMs, but kind of varies.
Do you think photo and video, it's like a good side hustle for college students?
Yeah, I think it's fun. It's like a nice way to like meet new people, explore the world a little. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's definitely a great side hustle.
What's the most you've made in one day shooting?
Probably like 3-4 grand one day.
Shooting for what?
It's for Joe Biden's campaign. They flew me and another videographer out, and then we just shot their content.
How was that whole experience?
Not too bad. Like, I mean, there's a lot of Secret Service, so we had to like get a lot of clearance and, figure out a lot of things. But aside from that, it was a nice, smooth process. We got to like go backstage, see a lot of things, like how it kind of worked and just shot. We're basically mostly covering their event, so just kind of like experiencing it firsthand is kind of pretty unique.
Now, running this business and also doing school, how are your grades? Like, what's your GPA?
It's
like what?
Like a 32, like 3.32.
What do your parents think?
I'd say they're supportive. I feel like they don't get exactly what I do, but I feel like they're starting to get it a little bit.
How do you price your services?
Honestly, like how I kind of got to where I priced my services was like I just asked a bunch of like videographers and photographers around like my skill set and see, okay, how much are they charging, and then what are they charging for, and then how should I kind of charge. So like basically, I just asked a bunch of my friends and see what they kind of charge, and I kind of like went with the rate.
What gear do you shoot with?
I shoot on a Blackmagic 6K and a 5D Mark IV for photos.
That's expensive, right?
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's kind of like mid-range stuff, but
like how much is it?
Right now, like maybe 1,500 just for the body. Yeah, it's not too expensive, but when you rig it out, it's kind of like it gets pricier.
Do all your friends make this much money? Like, is this normal?
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty normal.
When I was in college, I feel like no one made money like that. That's basically like a full-time out-of-school income.
I mean, yeah, in a sense, but I just like to surround myself with people, who do the same exact thing as I do. So it's kind of like we all kind of push each other to kind of like get clients, get money, stuff like that, yeah.
Any advice for college students?
If you like something, just kind of pursue it, see where it goes. If you fail, you fail. If you don't fail, there you go.
Love that. Thank you so much. So making money while in school is tough, but it's way easier with a website. I've been saying this for ages. Your income is directly correlated with how many people know your skills, your portfolio, your resume, whatever. A lot of high earners in this video are making so much because of their web presence. A website helps you stand out, whether you're trying to build your own business or catch the attention of recruiters. As someone who runs a staffing company, I can tell you that we always prefer candidates that have their own websites. It actually makes a huge difference. Personally, I have a ton of websites and I host all of them through Hostinger, my go-to platform for website building and hosting. With Hostinger, you can create up to 100 different websites for just $3 to $4 per month. It's a total no-brainer. Their AI website builder practically builds the entire site for you in minutes with no coding required. You can customize it with your own resume, products, portfolio, or whatever you want to showcase. Plus, you get access to professionally designed themes, a free domain, and more. If you're serious about making more money, setting up a website is one of the easiest first steps. If you're watching this, you should be doing it right now. Just click the link down below to head to this landing page, choose your plan duration, and get started. I'd recommend the premium or business plan for most of you. And don't forget to use code CharlieChang at checkout for an even bigger discount. Happy website building, and thank you so much to Hostinger for sponsoring this video and also giving you, my audience, a great deal on hosting. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
I'm Annie, I'm 18, and I'm a business administration major.
What made you choose that major?
I think that I've always been interested in entrepreneurship, but I think it would challenge me. I initially applied for PR and advertising, but I wanted to go down the finance route. I want to diversify my skills.
And as a college student, how do you make money?
So I run a media business called Annie Long Media. I do short form and long form content. My main platforms are YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. That's just a very formal way of saying I'm a YouTuber.
And what type of content?
I make personal development, lifestyle, some personal finance recently, and faith content.
Would you be willing to share how much you make?
Yeah, so I've made like up to like 6 figures per year. In the last year, I focused more on like my academics and social life. So it's been more like 5 figures in the last 12 months.
Okay. What do your parents think?
I think that they're very supportive, but they've definitely told me to place my mental health at number 1. So I've just reminded myself money definitely isn't everything, but it's also not nothing either.
And how do you specifically monetize your channel?
So I do Google AdSense, just the ads that are run on my videos, and then I also do brand partnerships, and I do that across different platforms. A lot of the times I'll do it like in bundles. You'll have like different assets per platform. That's the main way that I make revenue through my social media channels. I definitely want to do more like products and stuff, but I think right now it's been more like a lifestyle business for me. I think I used to want to build like a really large team, but now I'm just like more relaxed about it.
And how'd you get started in building your business?
So I started my YouTube channel when I was 8 years old. I loved watching like Rhaine and like Bethany Moda. So I've been doing it for around 10 years now.
So what advice would you give to other students that want to create content and build a business like that?
I think the biggest thing is figure out what impact that you want to have in your content. Even if you're a lifestyle creator, even if you're just showing your lifestyle, think about what influence do you want to have and why is your voice important.
As a student at USC, what are your expenses?
My main expenses, so I actually have like an Excel spreadsheet. The main thing is food, and then some clothing, but recently I've just been trying to cut down on that. And definitely as a creator, I get some like PR, so definitely gifting is helpful. But I would say a lot is on entertainment as well. So like football game tickets, going to like a game rental service area. Yeah, I would say that's pretty much it. Ever since I got like 2 bank accounts and I incorporated and separated my business and personal expenses, my personal expenses aren't actually that much.
So what do you do with the profits?
I guess how the payment structure works is that like I get revenue into my business account, and then like I pay myself about like 50% of it. I like save 40% of it, and then 10% I actually tithe to my church. And then for my personal income, I tithe another 10% because like I want my business to be blessed, and I also want my personal finances to be blessed. So that's also a big like core tenet of how I manage my finances.
So how do you manage your time doing both these things? Like, what does your schedule look like?
So I live and die on my Google Calendar. It's just how I remember everything. But I'd say the main thing for me is I'm much more principle-based rather than the actual tactics, because I feel like I used to definitely hold myself to a very high standard in terms of just like what my calendar looked like. But what's helped me is actually ranking my priorities. So before going into college, I wanted a system that would help me make decisions. Like, should I stay up an extra hour to study more for my test, or should I work on a brand deal? So for me, like my top priority is faith, and then fitness, family, friend, and then business and academics. So that's helped me. Just like I actually personally only take 14 units at USC. Before I was taking 18, but I decided to drop down because I realized that my health was kind of suffering, my business was suffering.
What's your GPA?
So I just got here, I'm a first year. I just wanted to be above a 3.2.
Do you think you'll hit that?
I definitely think so. In high school, my GPA was like 3.85, but I'm just setting like a lower standard. Just like, I mean, I hope it's higher, but I just never want to feel like I'm sacrificing either my business or health to just get a higher grade.
And what do you want to do in the future in like 5-10 years?
Yeah, I would love to work in more like traditional finance for like 2 years, get my certifications, maybe shift my content to personal finance so there's more like a work-life separation. And I really want to start a family young, so I'm very open to just having like my business on the side and then low-key being a stay-at-home mom. We'll see how that goes.
Oh. What's your ideal partner?
I guess this is something I'm not super strict about, but height does not matter to me. I mean, I prefer that they're at least my height, but I think it's more important what a man does with what he can control rather than what he does with what he can't control. I want someone who's not just Christian but genuinely loves God and it shows up in their life. I think I want someone who really values wisdom. A different definition of living more in the moment, it's not necessarily being reckless or impulsive, but it's being very mindful of your actions. So I want someone that's very self-aware. I want someone that is ambitious, but I don't want them to be David Goggins, okay? Like, I don't want their motivation to be coming from like a dark place. And I'm fine if they prioritize their work a little bit more, like in terms of work to family ratio. But I think at the end of the day, I want them to be family-centered. I would also like them unapologetic about their values, to not be pressured by like culture and society and what people think. I don't want them to just speak in a way that I think is palatable to others, but genuinely what they believe.
Do you care about how much your partner makes?
No, I don't. I think as long as they can support the family, and I'm willing to actually just adjust my lifestyle based off of what my family can offer. Like, I think be content with little, you can be content with a lot. So I think as long as that they're able to support the family, maybe it means I can't live in the city that I want to live given. And I'm okay with that. Like, if I have extra funds to contribute, I'm okay with that. Do you know Your Rich BFF? Something I like that she brought up is sometimes in relationships, it's more about equity. For instance, let's say my partner doesn't make that much money, but I want to go on a really expensive vacation to the Bahamas. I contribute what makes sense to me, and he contributes what makes sense for him. So I think that's the biggest thing, just showing that you are making that effort, but I don't necessarily expect, or it's not a standard for me that the man has to make more.
What advice would you give other students that want to find a job or make money?
I would say the main thing is always figure out how you can be providing value to others. Even if it's just like acquiring a mentor, for instance. I feel like I can tell a lot about someone's success or where they're projecting to go based on how they approach a mentor. Some people are still like, can you mentor me? Can you coach me? But it's important to think about how can you add value to your mentor. I think the way that you even cold email people or approach people is so essential. So I would say get better at being in that mindset constantly, like how can I serve this other person? That's not only applicable in business, but also if you want to volunteer somewhere or just even like being able to build rapport with people. I think that's important.
What's the most you've ever made from one brand deal?
15,000. Yeah, I wish I managed the money better. I'll say now I have a much more frugal mindset than I had in the beginning, but I wish I had that in the very beginning.
Also, like you spent the money?
I didn't spend all of it, but I spent more of it than I'd like. Like I have a good investment portfolio going on, but I'm like, it could have been much higher if I, had the principles I have now.
What do you invest in?
So my dad actually manages most of my investments. It used to be a custodial account, now it's a joint account. So I'm trying to slowly but surely learn because I'm like, I can't like turn 21 and be like, my dad manages my investments. I don't know, I feel like I need to mature from that. But it's a lot of long-term investing, like index funds. He invested in NVIDIA, but he sold it like when it got higher, but like before it really got high. So I try not to think about that too much, like because that I won't be able to go to sleep when I think about that.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a lot of like long-term, and then maybe just like Apple. But yeah, I think I do want to keep on going down like the long-term route.
Any last advice you want to give?
I would say like even as an entrepreneur, think about the long term in terms of like long term your health wise and like your fulfillment. And I always think that consistency beats intensity. I used to think that grinding in the short term would really pay off, and in some circumstances it can, maybe like economically. When you think about your personal fulfillment, I think slow and steady wins the race.
Thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
Ayanna Gonzalez. I'm 19 and I'm a public relations major.
What do you want to do with that in the future?
Hopefully work at like an agency, and then after a couple years like work in-house at like a brand.
What do you do to currently make money as a student?
I have like a work study, so through the school I tutor elementary school kids math.
How did you get that job?
I like got an email when I was a freshman that was like, oh, we're looking for like tutors, and then I applied, and yeah.
So how much do you make from that job?
200 every 2 weeks. It's like you tutor and then you do like prep. It depends, like on average like 10 hours a week.
What are your expenses as a student?
Just like groceries and then like home stuff. I don't really spend like too much money. If I need anything like super expensive, like I might just wait until like my parents come visit me or something, yeah.
Do you live on campus in the dorms?
Yeah, I live in the village.
Does that mean your like dorm food's covered and your housing and stuff?
We have like, if you live on campus, you have to have some sort of meal plan. Like sophomores, like their meal plan is a little like less. Like you have to kind of like cook for yourself a little more than freshmen do.
How do you balance your work and your schooling?
It's about time management. Like I incorporate my work study into my day, like whenever I have free time.
And what's the best part about your job?
First, that it's remote for sure. Like I get to do it all from my computer, and also like the kids that I tutor are like really cute. They're really nice, so yeah.
What advice would you give other students that want to make money?
I would say just like look for, like work study is super easy. If you don't have work study, like there are always people that are like, looking for students. I know like if you're into music, like you can MC for like different parties. Like you can, do like production design if you're into that. Like I have friends that like just like hustle random jobs.
Okay.
But yeah, you just kind of have to like be on the lookout.
Do you find that a majority of your friends also have some type of job?
Yeah, I would say like if they don't have work study, they definitely have. You can also like work for like USG, and like you can like have like, grants and stuff. So like you can like find jobs like within school that like offer you money too. Like there's so many ways to like make income.
What's the best thing about USC?
The weather.
Where are you originally from?
I'm from Massachusetts.
Do you think you're gonna stay here after you graduate?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope, I feel like with my major, like I have to kind of be in like a big city. So if I don't stay in LA, probably like move to New York.
Any final advice you want to give the audience?
I hope everybody finds a job.
Thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
I'm Maximus. I'm a sophomore and I'm a business major.
What do you hope to do with that major?
I have no idea. I'm actually switching to psych.
So what do you currently do to make money as a student?
Yeah, so I have a student job on campus. I work for our live events. We do all like the live productions in our auditorium, in our ballroom, all that kind of stuff.
And how many hours a week do you work?
Okay, so our maximum is technically like 20 hours a week, but but it really depends on the week since it's like live events, it's not consistent.
Right.
I also am like one of the execs, so I definitely get more hours than our like usual workers.
Okay.
So yeah.
And how much money do you make at your job?
I make $20.80 an hour.
What do you do with the money?
Save some of it. Rest is kind of just like groceries, stuff like that, books, I don't know.
And as a student, what are your expenses on campus?
Okay, well, so last year I was a freshman, so you had to have like the full dining plan, whatever. Mostly I would say groceries now, eating out if I don't feel like cooking.
Do you live on campus?
I live in the USC Village, yeah.
And how much is your rent?
I think it's like $6,000 a semester.
And then how much is tuition here?
All in, it's like $96,000 a year.
Okay.
I think tuition is like 60 to 70, something like that. Combination of like money that my parents had already saved and then loans that I'm gonna have to take out.
Do you know how much in loans you're gonna have?
I think it's gonna end up being like half of my total time here is like taken care of, and the other half I'm gonna have to eventually pay off.
What advice would you give to other people watching this video?
There's a lot of resources if money is a problem for school, like student job, financial aid, loans, stuff like that. If there's something you're like really, really passionate about, I wouldn't let like money be the reason why you can't do it, if that makes sense, you know?
Okay.
Like I feel like there's always a way to like work it out.
Balancing school and work, are you burnt out?
Yeah, sometimes, especially last semester,
Yeah.
I definitely needed to work on that. We'll see. I don't know. I get a lot of fulfillment from my job. There's a lot of jobs on campus where you can just kind of like sit and do nothing and they'll pay you, but it's whatever you want. There's a job for anything.
Thank you so much. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
My name is Rhaine. I'm 20 years old and I'm a dance major.
What do you want to do with your major?
Hopefully dance professionally with a company. We'll see, that's the goal.
What type of dance?
Contemporary is my favorite, but at Kaufman we do all styles.
So how do you make money as a college student?
Currently I have 2 on-campus jobs. So one is called Dance Operations and then one is Kaufman Communications.
And how did you get those jobs?
I just applied through them through Kaufman. Our departments are really awesome about like having BFAs work in the school. So
Would you be willing to share how much money you make at your jobs?
for my dance operations job, I'm a shift supervisor, which is just like a little level up from the entry-level position. So I think it's 17-ish an hour, maybe 17.50. And then the communications job is, I think, 15.
And what do you do with the money that you make? Like, how do you spend it?
It usually goes towards my rent and groceries.
What are your monthly expenses as a student here?
Well, this is my first year paying my own rent, so I have yet to establish what my regular monthly spending is, but my rent is about like $800 a month plus utilities. So then groceries, I'd say probably like just over $100 a month, maybe.
How many hours are you working a week then?
Just over 10.
How do you balance work with school?
I just try to be proactive with like my outside work. So if I have homework, just like getting it done in any free time that I have so that I'm not like overwhelmed with having work and school.
Any productivity hacks for the audience?
Even if you don't want to get something done, just start it. Starting is always the hardest part. If you just start, you're more likely to just grind through and get it done in that one sitting.
What's the best part about being a USC student?
The best part for me is that I get to pursue my artistic and academic interests. So I get to dance all day and then also go to super fun academic classes with regular people, and it's awesome.
Any tips for people that are about to start college or in college?
Just don't put too many expectations or pressures on yourself for what your first couple weeks will look like here. Everything is so crazy and overwhelming at first, but you'll settle into yourself.
Thanks so much. So what's your name, age, and what's your major?
Daniel Hong, I'm 18 and I'm majoring in communications.
Why did you pick that major?
I'm really into like social media and like I just love all that background stuff, but it's also like an easier workload and I needed a lot of time to like focus on the business and the channel. So I chose that to really like invest that time.
Okay, so how do you make money as a college student?
I'm a YouTuber and I've been doing it for like 3 years and I just upload videos. It's like kids content like Minecraft and Roblox content and I upload 3 videos a day.
3 videos a day, how do you do that?
I started off by doing like once a month and then I started doing it once a day.
Yeah.
And I would edit, do thumbnails, record everything by myself. But then eventually like I wanted to post more and more, so I needed like a bigger team. I have 9 people working under me now and every day we have a set schedule of when we go and record and then I send it off to my editors, they send it off to thumbnail makers, upload it.
What's the channel called?
It's called Corey, K-O-R-Y.
How many subscribers do you have?
So I have 3 channels, I think, and one of them has 1.62 million. Another one has 160,000, and the other one has like 250,000, I think. And I'm just starting up a new channel today, actually.
How much money do you make from these channels?
If you average it out, around 100K a month.
So why are you still in college?
One, my parents really wanted me to go because they said like it's a very valuable experience, and I also just wanted to experience it. It's always good to have a backup plan.
So of that 100K, like what are your expenses and how much do you actually take home?
The expenses, I have to pay my editors, the thumbnail makers. I have a operations manager that I work with. I have voice actors and actors that I record videos with, and I also have people just setting it up. In total, it comes out to around 18, 19,000 a month, maybe 20,000 with like unexpected expenses.
Yeah.
So the 20,000 goes out to the team, and I take the 80,000 for myself.
What do you do with all that money?
I either just invest it or I paid for college. I've kind of just been saving it, not really too sure what to do with it yet.
So how do you monetize your YouTube channel?
I actually don't take any sponsorships or brands. Like I've never taken one before, and it's all just AdSense, or yeah, so it's just ads on YouTube. And pretty much how that works is companies pay YouTube to put their ads on videos, and then YouTube takes 45% of it, and then the creators take 55%.
What's your CPM?
It's like around 11 to 12, so $5 RPM, $12 CPM. So what that means is for every 1,000 views, I'm getting $5 back. So if I'm getting 1 million views, that means I'm making $5,000 on that video.
How do you plan to expand your business?
Well, right now I'm trying to create more variety channels. So I want to start like a VR channel soon. And right now I have a Minecraft, a Roblox, and then I'm going to start the VR one. And I just want to keep expanding that brand. With that also comes merchandise and stuff like that, but that's obviously later on. There's a lot more you can do. It's a lot of quantity posting as well that really gets your name out there. I think my plan right now is to like find a sub niche within the niche of like Roblox or Minecraft and grow the new channel on that or something like that. And then after that, just expand my name out.
So the gaming niche seems to be pretty competitive. How do you set yourself apart? Why are your channels successful?
Well, one thing is the level of consistency. For the past like 7-8 months, I've never missed 3 uploads a day. And 2, it's you really got to be innovative when you do these channels, because there's so many channels doing similar ideas and similar videos and stuff like that. And what you need to do is just find something that sets yourself apart. It's like really just creativity and just finding new titles, new videos.
Do you ever plan on getting a 9-to-5 job?
No, probably not. I mean, if YouTube works out, which I'm pretty confident it will at this point, then obviously I'll continue doing that. Like I love doing it, it makes good money, and there's nothing else I would do besides that, but I doubt I would try to get a 9-to-5.
How do you balance schoolwork and also running your own stuff?
Well, I have a very set schedule, so I have all of my classes set starting from 10 to 3 every single day, and then all of my recordings are from 4 and to like 7:30 or 8 or something like that. And then after that is when I do like homework and then socializing and stuff like that. Right now I don't have a heavy workload, so it's easier. It's been like that since sophomore year or junior year when it really started building the team, so I've gotten used to just packing everything together and having a really consistent schedule.
Junior year of high school, right?
High school, yeah.
You started making money when you were in high school.
Yeah, I started making serious money around junior year.
What are some specific tools that you use to run your business?
I edited on Premiere Pro, OBS as a standard recording tool, and then that's honestly all you need. You just need a laptop, a mic, that's it.
What do your parents think about all this?
My parents were actually really supportive of it because I started doing YouTube for fun during quarantine. They were like, as long as you get your schoolwork done, there should be no issue. Like, if I'm playing video games all day, might as well make something of it. Once it started blowing up quickly, they were still very supportive. Like, they thought it was cool. My mom actually helped me like manage everything. She still is. We built the company together. She handles like all of the financial stuff, like the taxes and everything like that. And I just handle a lot of the creative and business stuff.
What advice do you want to give other college students watching this that want to start making money?
If you're gonna do something, really believe you can do it and just like commit yourself to it, because once you give yourself the mindset that you can actually succeed in this, and I think my biggest inspiration was seeing another kid around my age doing it, because I think typically you think you have to be like a special someone or that you have to be a special type of person to do this kind of stuff. But then once you see, you know, kids our age starting to do this stuff, you realize as long as you put in the work and the dedication in and you're passionate about it, it's hard to fail.
Well, there have been some roadblocks in building your business.
Definitely just like learning how to run the team. You don't really get real leadership experience until you're starting to run a team by yourself that you're fully operating. You got to learn how to, one, handle expenses and figure out what's a good like profit margin that you have to maintain. The mental is all on you, because as the leader of a group or a team, you're the one that has to keep the morale up of the group, but you also have to balance like knowing when it's going like down, when it's going downhill, so when you have to push it back up and stuff like that. So it's really keeping a good morale on the team while continuing to learn from mistakes on whatever business you're doing.
Are you a millionaire?
Almost. I've hit $1 million in revenue, but I've had to pay for a lot of things like, you know, family related and just like my own stuff and taxes and stuff like that.
Where do you hire from?
I don't know exactly where they're all from, but I just usually just send out like a tweet, or there's always like some job postings you can find on websites. So they're all over the place. I have some people working in the United States. I have a ton of people like working in Brazil that help me out a lot, but it's all over the place. So yeah, I don't have a single person that I work with in person. Everyone's online.
Do you prefer it that way?
Yeah, it's honestly a lot easier. easier that way. Just because if we were working on them like in person and everything was like contained in an office or something like that, then comes the problem of like finding an office space to work in and then having everyone come in at the same time and stuff like that. When it's online, it's a lot more convenient for most people because they can work from home. We don't have to set up a separate space or anything like that.
What's your goal?
Definitely, like when I was younger, all the childhood YouTubers I would watch, I want to become like that for the new generation. Like it's crazy because I used to look up to these guys and watch them all the time, and now I'm working alongside them, and that's like mind-blowing to me. But money-wise, I want to get to the point where I can pursue any other passion that I have comfortably without the financial burden on me.
Cool, thank you so much. So I gotta say, we talked to some crazy people that make a lot of money, and it's just mind-blowing that there are 18-year-olds, 20-year-olds, whatever, making that much money. But of course, we talked to a wide range of incomes, and to me, I don't really think it matters how much money you make in college, as long as you're making the most of your time here, having fun, and just being productive. But yeah, super enlightening. Hopefully, you guys got some inspiration from the answers that we got today. Start your side hustle as early as you can, because the earlier you start, the longer you're gonna have to actually build it and see success. Plus, now is the best time because you literally don't have anything to risk. So yeah, go for it. I also think that every entrepreneur should have a website. I personally have made like dozens of websites in my life. So if you want the most affordable web hosting out there, I'll have a link down below. You'll get exclusive pricing. And one hosting your plan can actually allow you to build up to 100 different websites. And it's about $3 or $4 per month. So super, super cheap. Again, I'll have a link down below. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe for more content just like this. I do a ton of videos about personal finance, entrepreneurship, and investing. So everything to help you live a financially successful life. Thank you again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.